Alright, I think we are live. So, hello everybody, and welcome to yet another video I am doing on Flutter. Now, in my previous video, I looked at some buttons, such as the raise button and the drop down button. And we created this little funky thing here, which seems to have some issues with styling, but I don't really care at this point. It's not overly important. Obviously, there's more buttons we could have created. So, we've got the flat button, raise button, drop down button, but there are other buttons as well. But I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to move on to another set of widgets. And they are the Scaffold and app bar widgets. Alright, so I'm going to start with the Scaffold widget, because I haven't, well, we've used this, but we've kind of used it as like just a wrapper around the stuff that we're doing. So now I'm going to use it for real and see what it gives us. So what do we got here? Implements the basic material design visual layout structure. This class provides APIs for showing drawers, snack bars, and bottom sheets. To display a snack bar or a persistent bottom sheet, obtain the scaffold state for the current build context via scaffold.of and use scaffold state.show snack bar and scaffold state. Okay, whatever. So, scaffold layout with the keyboard and display notches. The scaffold will expand to fill the available space. That usually means that it will occupy its entire window or device screen. When the device's keyboard appears, the scaffold's end system media queries widget, whatever that is, and the scaffold will be rebuilt. By default, the scaffold's body is resized to make room for the keyboard. To prevent the resize set resize to avoid bottom inset to false. In either case, the focus widget will be okay, whatever. So, what do we got here? Sample code. Add a listener to the apps tab controller. No, I want some really basic stuff. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a scaffold widget, or scaffold.dart file. And I'm just going to replace the current one we have in main. So this here, I'm going to copy this, like so, and I'm going to dump it into the scaffold.dart file we just created. And then I'm just going to copy this, paste that in, and then we'll go class, scaffold, scaffold, test widget, extends, what is it, stateless widget, and then we're going to have a build in here, whoop. And then we're just going to return this baby here. So return that. Now all I need to do is indent this in a little bit, get rid of that to do, and pass that in. So here, we're going to grab this, just for the moment, put it up the top. And what's the problem I got here? I don't need widgets. And then all I need to do is go into my main.dart, import yet another one of these widgets, which I'm starting to get a ton of them in here. Scaffold, yep, that one. And then scaffold test widget here. No. Where the scaffold is, we just go scaffold test widget. And hopefully, we get the same result. Yep. Cool. Alright. So, now we're going to play around in here. So, at the moment, we've got app bar. What else can a scaffold take? Preferred size widget app bar. Okay. Preferred size widget. Background color, body widget. So what happens if I just set the background color? Let's do that. We'll do it before the body. Background color. Color dot from RGB. Let's go 255. We'll go 200. We'll go 80, and we'll go 0. So we'll go like a reddish color. See what happens. Or actually, it's very orange. Okay. So the app bar stays that blue color. So let's go more of a reasonable color. We'll go 200 for everything. Right, yeah. And I'm going to remove this button widget and just put text. Hello world. And that's probably going to put it to the top left hand corner. Yep. So we'll add a center in there. Because I want to put some text in the middle of the screen for the moment. So body is essentially the body. Look. So body is essentially this area here, all the way down. So if I do this now, cool. All right. So we've got background color. I've set that. We've got an app bar. We'll look at more of the app bar in a minute because I want to explore that later. Bottom navigation bar. So if I give this a bottom navigation bar, this is a widget. So it's giving us a bunch of options, but again, let's just add a container because I feel like it. We'll go background. Oh, sorry, it's not background, it's color. Color dot from RGB again, 255, and we'll go a blackish color, 40, 40, 40. So relatively dark color. That's not going to show anything, is it? Oh, it is, because actually, why is it taking up the entire screen? I guess the container tries to go as big as possible, right? So unless I give it a height of, say, 200, now it's at the bottom there. And the body is moved up, so the middle of the body is moved up. Cool. Alright, so literally it's just indicating something that's anchored to the bottom. Is that essentially what it's doing? I don't have to do much else here, do I? Determines, where is it? A bottom navigation bar to display at the bottom of the scaffold. Well, it says navigation bar, but it's not really a navigation bar. It's essentially a widget that goes at the bottom of the scaffold, right? Same as an app bar doesn't necessarily need a title, does it? So if I do this, it's just going to be blue. Yeah. And can I put off? Anyway, I'll come back to that. So bottom navigation bar is literally whatever we want it to be. And then we've got a drawer. A panel displayed to the side of the body, often used in... Alright, so let's create a drawer. Drawer. Again, I'm going to use a container because it's just easier. Otherwise, I have to learn all the other widgets. And I just want to learn this widget. Color. We'll go color dot from RGB again. 255. And this time we're going to go bluish, greenish color. So we'll go 20 for red. We'll go 175 for green. And 250 for blue. And see what we're coming out with. Alright, so that adds a little thing up here. And whoa! Nice. How do I... Alright. Why is it so wide? Can I control that? So on the drawer. So it looks like... Oh, okay. So it's based on the fact that we can use any widget, and that widget is going to slide over. Now it's got a text direction, not right to left. So how do I change that? Oh, here we go. Draw, drag, start behavior determines the way the drag start behavior is. All right, let's take a look at this. Draw, drag, yeah, this thing. What kind of object was it? Drag, start behavior. Behavior. Okay, must be in a different library. What library is this in? Oh, it's an enum. Okay, I got it. That's why it's not working, because I'm trying to use it as a constructor. So, why is it when I go drag start behavior, it's not an enum? It just says hash code. Click on this. .start.values. I'm now confused. Did I not use the right? This dot super, no such method. Why can't I? Bugger off. I'm saying it doesn't exist. So it must definitely be in another library then. So where is this? Gestures. Flutter.gestures. Ah, here we go. So we have to import gestures.dart. So import package Flutter gestures.dart. And now we might have it. Yeah, there it is. So let's try down. Let's see what down does. So if I do this, didn't change anything. Still scans all the way across the screen. I'm going to put a width on this. And we'll just go 100. I don't want to go all the way across the screen. It's kind of annoying. Alright. Well, that's pretty easy then. But that's just, what's this down then if it's not, what's start do? This doesn't seem to do anything. Let me have another read of this. Go back. Set the initial offset at the position where the first down event was detected. Set the initial position at the position where the... I don't know. I don't even understand what that means. That doesn't tell me anything. So let me go into here, because this always tells you more. Set the initial position. That's really not that helpful. What do we got? Configuration offset to be passed to drag start details. The setting determines when a drag formally starts and when the user initiates a drag. But I'm not doing a drag, am I? I'm just doing a click. I'm not dragging. Oh, there we go. So I do this. All right. What's the other option? If I set this to down, what does this do? So if I do this, it does the same thing. Oh, I can pull it in, can I? Okay, so I don't have to press up here. What if I say start Still not sure what this does, because I can pull that in regardless. What does it do? Drag start behavior. What does this? If the drag start behavior does start, the on start callback will be called at the time position when the gesture. Okay, so it's something to do with event handling. Okay, cool. So probably a little bit beyond what I'm doing right now. Fair enough. Let's go a step back then. I'll close that. And draw. A panel displayed to the side of the body, often hidden on mobile devices. Swipe in front of left. And draw widget. Alright, let's see what it does. So we'll add an end draw. So I'm gonna comment that out because it doesn't really do anything. End draw. We'll grab the same container, except this time we'll change the color to, let's say, 40. See what this does. So there's one on this side too. All right, okay. So sometimes gotcha. So sometimes you have a right menu and sometimes you have a left menu. So draw is the left draw and the end draw is the right draw. Okie dokie. Cool. Very nice, very nice. All right, what else we got here? Floating action button. A button display floating above body in the bottom right-hand corner. All right, this might be like the Twitter button, right? So what is it? Floating action button. Here we go, floating action button. And what do we give it? We just give it a widget. All right. So in this situation, let's go raise button. And on pressed, we'll give nothing. I'll put that on the next line. Do I need to just do that, or is that enough? Or yeah, so and then we'll just get some text. Tweet. I'm thinking of Twitter. Oops, what happened here? Something's wrong. Do I have to put key to it? No, not key. So on pressed. Oh, I'm gonna put a widget. That's right, child, not just text. So yeah, I forget things already. Child, text, tweet. Bingo. There we go. Excellent. And can I move this around? Like, does it have to be in the bottom right-hand corner? So we've got floating action button animator. I might leave that for another time. Animator to move to a new location. Yeah, I'm going to stick the animation in a different video. Floating action button location. Here we go. Responsible for determining where the floating action button should go. Is this an enum? It is, yeah, it looks like it's got constants in it. So floating action button. So floating action button location. Floating action button location. And we're going floating action button dot. Maybe it's not like that. Oh, here we go. No, not floating action button. No, what's it called? Location. Dot. There we go. Center docked. Let's see what this does. Okay, so it puts it in between the body and the bottom navigation bar. So if that means if I move the bottom navigation bar up, like so, right, gotcha. So what other options are there? We've got end docked, so that must be, that's where it just was, gotcha. Actually, no, that's not where it was. We had end float, right? That's where it was. And we've got start top, okay. So you can put it up the top. Right, gotcha. Mini start top, what's the difference? Didn't seem to do anything. Is it meant to use a miniature version? This is unlikely to be used for location for apps that like a top app bar or that use a silver app bar in the scaffold body itself. This is intended to be used with floating action button.mini set to true, so that the floating action button appears to align with the circle. Alright, so it looks like it's used under a set amount of circumstances. Rightio. What else can we do? Can we put it in the center? No. It looks like it's going to be center float. What's center float? Is that in the bottom? Yeah, that's there. And what's the other float option? End top. Up there. So it looks like you put it in the bottom left. End float, center float. And that's it. There's no start float. Alright, fair enough. Let's put it end float, which is kind of the default. And I'm going to bring the bottom navigation bar back down a bit. Okie dokie. Starting to look like an app a little bit. Not really, but we got our little draw on the right hand side and we've got our little draw on the left hand side. And then we've got our content and we've got a little floating action button here. We've got ourselves a little bottom nav. We can pull in the menus, I think. There they are. Pull and pull. What else can we do? What else can we do with the scaffold, man? What else? Primary. Whether the scaffold is being displayed at the top of the screen. Persistent footer buttons. A set of buttons that are displayed at the bottom of the scaffold. Does that mean they're in here, this navigation part? Let's try it. Persistent footer buttons. It needs an array. Let's add a raised button. We'll give it on pressed of nothing as well. We'll give it a color. We'll make it color.red. So 255, 25500. What does that do? So not quite. It actually creates another like footer type section where the button goes. And it looks like that thing is a fixed height. Persistent footer buttons, that's a fixed height. So if I add more buttons, so let's add, so firstly, I'm going to do the right thing conventionally. So raise button, and we're going to add a child, give it some text, and we will, why did it do that? Stupid IDE sometimes does things for me that I don't want it to do. Alright, so we need to give it a text of, we'll just go no, but I want to give it a font or style. We'll give it a text style, and this will, oh, for crying out loud, color dot. Now let's go theme dot of context dot. Let's grab accent color and maybe change it from no to yes. See what this does. No, it just changes the text color, of course. Now let's make it white. Color dot from RGB 255 255 255 255. Save. That's white. Change it back to no. And then we'll grab another raise button. We'll do exactly the same thing, except I'll put it in front of this one, like that. And we'll add a yes. And this one will, I don't know, we'll go theme dot of context, and we'll get the primary color. Why not? And that's for the text again. What am I doing? That's not the color I want. I want that to stay as white as well. So let's revert that. I want this to be theme dot of context dot primary color. Ooh, flashy. So but the whole point is, this persistent footer buttons thing just seems to create this bottom bit here. And that's it. So if I remove, where is it? Bottom navigation, and I comment this out, it's just going to put it at the bottom like that. Alright. Let's keep it in. What else can we do? What else can we do? Resize to avoid bottom inset. If true, the body and the scaffold's floating widgets should size themselves to avoid the on-screen keyboard. Alright, I'm not going to worry about that at this point. That one's been crossed out, so I'm assuming that's deprecated, and it is. So I'm not going to look at deprecated flags. And that's it. Really, there's not much to it. And my mouse just died. Fantastic. I'm going to have to use my backup mouse. My backup mouse, man. I'm just plugging in my other mouse. How long have I been going for? Not even half an hour. Alright, so I think that's Scaffold. You know, I'm not going to go too deep into designing something with everything there, because everything seemed to be quite flexible. It was a widget, you know, lots of widgets. So what I might do now is I'm going to play around with the app bar a bit. So let's take what I've got here, and I'm going to create another widget, because I want to app bar dot widget. I want to keep what I've got there, dot dart, but I want all this. And now I'm going to put app bar test widget. So we'll keep the scaffold, but I'm going to remove all of this gobbledygook that I don't care about, like so, and just focus on the app bar. And then I'm going to come down to my main.dart. I'm going to copy my scaffold import here and paste it, and then just rename it to app-bar. And what's going on here? Why don't I get appbar.widget.dart? I didn't type it like that, did I? Let's do that. Maybe I did. Appbar test widget. So let's go appbar test widget. Save. Alright, we've got a fairly empty application again. So app bar. So what can we do with the app bar? So we'll come out of Scaffold for the moment. Then we're going to go into our beautiful little app bar. A material design app bar. An app bar consists of a toolbar and potentially other widgets, such as a tab bar and a flexible space bar. App bars typically expose one or more common actions with icon buttons, which are optionally followed by a pop-up menu for less common operators, sometimes called overflow menu. App bars are typically used in the scaffold.appbar property, which places the app bar as a fixed height widget at the top of the screen. For a scrollable app bar, see silver app bar. We'll do that later, which embeds an app bar in a silver for a custom scroll view. Really? You want to have an app bar that's scrollable? Okay. The app bar displays the toolbar widgets, leading, title, and actions above the bottom. Okay. So the leading is on the top left. Then we've got our title, which we pass. Then our list of actions. And then some bottom. Flexible space, whatever that is. If a flexible space widget is specified, then it's stacked behind the toolbar and the bottom widget. Okay. If the leading widget is omitted, but the app bar is in a scaffold with a drawer, then a button will be inserted to open the drawer. Otherwise, okay, so I think we already saw this when I was using the scaffold. If I had a drawer, it had a button here. So what we're saying here is this leading is what it was using to manipulate. Okay, cool. So let's grab a few things here. So they've got actions. I'm going to grab an icon button. I'm not going to use it the way they're using it. I'm going to manipulate, what is it? What did they call it? The first thing. The leading. Let's add a leading. So leading. I'm going to grab that icon button and just ram it in there. And I'm just going to put empty. So right now I'm not worried about handling anything. And what's the problem here? Title isn't defined. Okay, do I not have enough? Ah, there. Save. Alright. So it's just a button. Okie dokie. And then we had that, and then we had a bunch of other stuff. What's this? We got elevation for this too. So we can elevate the app bar. Let's try that. So elevation, and why is it coming up with border radius? This is a double. What's the numbers it can take? Default is 4. Okay, which is to place the app bar relative to its parent. This controls the size of the shadow below the app bar. Yeah, I kind of understood that already. Let's put it at 8. And watch the shadow get a little thicker. There it is. Got a little thicker. Alright. Nothing special there. Center title. Center title. What's the default? Is it true? Whether the title should be centered. Defaults to being adapted to the current target platform. So the target platform is iOS in this case, which puts it in the middle. So we're going to set it to center title false. Center title false. Okay. I don't know why you would ever want to not center it, but you might have a reason. Brightness. The brightness of the app bar's material typically is set along with background color. So we can put a background color on this, can we? There it is. Color dot from RGB 255. I'm going to make this red. Let's make this thing red. Oh, lovely. We got ourselves what looks like YouTube. So I can go YouTube. Oh wow, it actually looks like YouTube. No, it doesn't really. Anyway, I'm gonna take that out because I don't want to be in trouble for building a YouTube app. I'll put in Laura Digital. And we'll put in, what do we got? Instead of 255. What's my colors? I'm just going to quickly look up the colors on my website. Just to get it to the colors that I want. Just for fun. Let's choose. So let's grab this color, which is, what is this, an RGB? Sorry guys, I'm using another computer here. To RGBA. So hex to RGBA, hex to RGB8. Beautiful. Take that. Alright. So we've got 255, so then we've got 49, and then we've got 118 and 181. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful color. That is the Laura Digital color. Okay. Alright. What else can we do? Bottom opacity. How opaque the bottom part of the app bar is. Really? Anyway, so we've got actions, we've got automatically implied leading. Controls whether we should try to imply the leading widget if null. So if we're going to automatically, I'm just going to set this to true, and then I'm going to hide the leading, which is just, in this case, an icon button. What's the difference here? What does this do? It did something about null. Controls whether we should try to imply the leading widget if null. If true and leading is null, automatically try to deduce what the leading widget should be. If false and leading is null, leading space is given to title. If leading widget is not null, this parameter has no effect. But I've set it, so if I set it explicitly to null, so if I get, it's already null, I would have thought, leading, like just by not using it, right? But it's giving it, regardless, it's giving it to the title. So if I set this to false, I mean, it's doing the same thing regardless. Unless I've set this to true and it does something. No, because that just puts it in the middle. I'm not sure. Could this be when we use a scaffold and I set a draw? So let's just add a draw here for a second. Center. Now we'll go container and I'll just set a color and a width. So we'll go width 100 and color, I don't know, theme dot of context dot primary color. We'll just do that for the moment. So it's not going to use my color. So we added a draw, but it didn't add any. Oh, so that's where I said automatically imply leading. If I set this to true now. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Gotcha. So if I do have something like a draw and I set this to false, then we're just saying don't show us this thing. Because we're not going to imply that there's a leading there. We don't want to show that. But if I do this, we do want to show that. So I'm going to comment out the draw because I don't want it. Oh, we'll make sure, actually, we'll make sure it's working. Yeah, okay. Cool. So if I do this now, it's not going to make any difference. And if I was to add a leading, so say I added a leading in here. So let's take this away. And we'll add this back in. And we'll add this back in. It's going to use my value in it. Yeah, cool. Gotcha. To which this no longer applies. So I must have commented it out. Alrighty. Next. What do we got? Let's grab some actions. So let's do some actions. Oh, yeah, that'll do. Whoa. Why have I got an extra square bracket? Extra square bracket. So here I'm going to put, let's just go another raise button for now. Why is it coming with elevation of all things? That's not what I want. Child, text, and we'll go A, because I'm lazy. And we'll just leave that for the moment. Oh, I need to handle the click, don't I? On press, sorry. Let's do that. Then I might even copy and paste that. And change the text to just be B. Because I'm lazy, and save. And it just adds 2 action buttons up there in the top right hand corner. What if I add too many? I don't think you meant to. So let's see. Is it going to make the button smaller to make the space? No, it's just going to go right over the top of the title. Okay. So I don't think you meant to use raise buttons there anyway. So what does it actually say about actions? Widgets to display after the title widget. Okay, so it doesn't really care too much. What does it say in terms of the documentation here? Because this always tells you more. So here they're using icon buttons. Shopping cart. So if I was to say, take that instead. Whoops. And instead of all these raise buttons, I'll just replace it with this. And we'll get rid of the stuff here. Why did it not get rid of all the... Oh, for crying out loud, what's happening? I'm making a mess. I'm making a meal of this. Alright. Icon, tooltip, and on pressed. And that is my on pressed handler here. Bingo. Oh, alright. Doesn't do anything, but that's fine. So you're meant to add icons like that in the top right hand corner as action buttons. In this case, I've got an icon button, but it doesn't do anything because I've told it to do nothing. And that's fine. I'm not too fussed. Right now, I'm just trying to learn presentation, not interactivity. So there's that. And what else we got? Bottom. This widget appears across the bottom of the app bar. Preferred sized widget. All right, so let's add this bottom parameter. So after background color, let's go bottom. And what is a preferred size widget? So this is abstract, so something must be using preferred size widget. What kind of things use it? Implementers. Tab bar. Is this inheriting from a preferred size widget? It doesn't look like it. So these are the things that implemented, but they're not things that an interface for widgets that can return the size this widget would prefer if it were otherwise unconstrained. There are a few places, notably app bar and tab bar, where it would be undesirable for the widget to contain its own size, but where the widget needs to expose a preferred default size. So do we have use preferred size to give a preferred size to an arbitrary widget? Okay. A widget with a preferred size. This widget does not impose any constraints on its child and doesn't affect the child's layout in any way. It just advertises a preferred size, which can be used by the parent. So do I just go preferred size? And then I put something inside of it. So preferred, yep. And then does this take a child? Yeah. And we'll go container. And there's obviously more to the preferred size than this. Preferred size, which is a size object, which takes a width and a height. Okay. Size, that's a size, which takes a width and a height. So we'll go 50 by 50. How about we just do that? And then we'll put a background, sorry, not background, color, and we'll go, I don't know, let's go purely white. So color from RGB 255, 255, 255, and see what it does. Let's see what this does. Bottom. It didn't seem to do anything. Or if it did, it's not using the color. Maybe because there's nothing inside of it. So let's add a child. And we'll give it, let's go with a row. And a row has children. And how about for the row, we're going to add a expanded where the child is a container, and the color of that container will be color dot from RGB, not O. Well, opacity. I'm still going to use alpha because that's what I'm used to. So 255, 255, 255, 255. Like that. What does this do? Okay, doesn't do anything. Fantastic. Alright, so we need to put this on a new line, and also put this on a new line, so that will go to that line, that will have a comma after it. And this can have a height, because it probably doesn't have a height. And we'll give it a height of, I don't know, 40, because we said a preferred size is 50. And save that. And by going down, oh, there we go. So I've said white for everything. So it's expanded all the way across. Now, is that height actually 50 or 40 there? How can I know? If I increase this to, let's say, 100, is it going to increase to 100? No, it's just gonna give me more space. So that gives me more space, but then the child is not using all that space. So if I now set this to 50, where I think maybe I'm going to add the height up here, like so, and save. That's probably going to keep that there. And then for this, I'm going to use a different color because that's white and that's white. So let's make this one red. So it's all red, but that's fine. And then I'm going to create another expanded directly below this one. And I'm not sure why that comma is there and not here. So let's get rid of that comma, put that there. And for this one, I'm going to make this one blue, just to make sure it's 50-50 down the middle. Oh yeah. And if I instead, I make this, let's say 100. Okay, so it's going to push into the title. So that means I have to come up here and make this 100, and then it won't push into the title. Right, gotcha. Alright, so that's essentially what the bottom is. The bottom is the bottom of the app bar. We're setting a preferred size on it, and then we can put something inside of that bottom. Now, it also said something about bottom opacity. So let's check that out. Bottom opacity, and what does this take? It takes a double, and it looks like it's 1, so it's between 0 and 1. So if I go to 0.3 and save, okay, 0.7. That's weird. 0.5. So that kind of goes more invisible. 0.4, but when I use 0.3, it practically disappeared. And if I use 0.6, yeah, that's still regarding it. 8. Alright. And then as we get closer to 1, like that's full, like it's got shadow and everything. So up to 0.4 it seems to work. But as soon as I get to 0.3, it's like it's too invisible. It could be the color we're using, I don't know, but anyway, I'm going to leave it at 0.4 just for fun. And what else can we do? So that was preferred size. So I'm starting to feel like I know a fair bit now. So we looked at bottom opacity, we looked at brightness we didn't look at, not for this anyway, but we've seen it before in other ones. If I remember, it's theme dot of context. No, it was based on the theme, that's right. So this takes a brightness, that's it. Brightness dot dark. I think that changes the color of the text to white. So it's not going to show much change here because we already had it set to white. But if I set this to light, it's going to change it to black, isn't it? Yeah, see, so the text up here became black. But yet the title remained white. Why did the title remain white though? Is it because we're using a text widget? Maybe that's the reason. So if we're using text widget, it doesn't acknowledge that. So if I can go style, and we go theme dot of context dot style. Can I pass in text style, text theme? No. Can I pass in a theme here? I've forgotten. I thought there was a theme for this. Key style, strut style. This is a text style. Doesn't look like I can. So hang on, what does this return again? So this returns a text theme. So I don't think there's a text theme in here, unless it's assigned to the style object, and inside of here there's a theme. Not seeing it. So it doesn't look like it works for a text widget. Alright, fair enough. I will not worry about that right now. When I look at themes, I'll understand that a little bit better. So, what have we got left? Center tile, we looked at that. Elevation, flexible space. This widget is stacked behind the toolbar and the tab bar. Its height will be the same as the app bar's overall height. Icon theme. So if we put in a different theme for the icon theme, it takes an icon theme data. Oh, hang on. Text theme. There it is for app. So if I go, sorry, I'm gonna text theme equals theme.of context.text theme. That's probably gonna act. Yeah. So now it takes in the black because we changed the brightness to light. Now if I change this back to dark, no, it stays black. Okay. Is it because the text theme itself, this text theme has a color of black by default for the theme? Must be. Never mind. We'll keep it there though. I know we won't, because it just keeps it white, and I don't want it white. I like to have it white. Sorry, I don't want it black. I want to have it white. So what else we got? There's a lot going on here. What can we quickly cover here? Toolbar opacity. How opaque the toolbar is of the app bar. So the toolbar is what? Let's just add it and see what happens. Toolbar opacity 0.4. We'll go 0.5. Okay, so it's that there. Fair enough. What else we got? Title spacing. Let's have a look at title spacing. Title spacing. What type of object does it take? Just a double. How opaque? No, that's tile spacing. The spacing around the tile content. Oh, okay, so this adds spacing around the. So if I put it like 100, it's going to be huge. It's almost centered it. Right, gotcha. And if I put 10, it's going to be less. And that's just Pinterest. Nothing special there. So if I put this down to 1, does that mean it's going to put it really close to the icon? 0? Negative? Can we go negative? Negative 10? Yep. Negative 100. Does it go off the screen? Yeah. Okay, cool. And what's the default for this? 0? Looks like it. No, default is what? No, that's the opacity. Yeah, it's set the value here. Spacing around tile content on the horizontal axis. The spacing is applied even if there's no leading content or actions. Defaults to navigation toolbar dot k middle. What is this? 16. Okay. So if I come in and if I just remove this, alright, that's going to move it up. And if I set this to 16, it's probably not going to move, right? Cool. And then if I move this to 20, alright, cool. Yep, got it, understand. So I'll set it to 16 and we'll comment it out. Alright, what else? Toolbar opacity, title, text theme, primary. Where this app bar is displayed at the top of the screen. So if I set primary to false, what does that do? primary false. Oh. Well. That doesn't look good. Does that mean I have to position this? But I can't. I don't have a margin. I don't get why you would ever set this to true then. Can you have multiple app bars on the same screen, can you? Whether this app bar is being displayed at the top of the screen. And I've set it to true. And if you set it to false, it just kind of goes wherever it wants. I'll leave it. Icon theme. We'll leave that for another time. Flexible space. And that's the only one I haven't looked at it here at the moment. It's flexible space. So let's find out what it is. This widget is stacked on the toolbar and the tab bar. Its height will be the same as the up bar. So it's just a widget. So let's add it. So if I'm trying to keep this in alphabetical order. Flexible space. We'll just go with a container. And we'll add a child, not a child. Let's add a color. And we'll just go green. Color dot from 255 0 255 0. Save. And probably needs a height. Oh, okay. I don't understand that. What did I do? Let's change the height of this. We'll make it 20. See what that does. Flexible space. The flexible space isn't actually flexible unless the app bar's container changes. A silver bar app. Alright, what's a flexible space bar? Part of the material expands and collapses. Alright, let's quickly have a look at this. Flexible space bar. Let's just add it. Flexible space bar. Which means I get rid of this crap. And what is it after? It wants what? Shown behind the tile when expanded. Set title, collapse mode. Let's just add title and see what it does. Title, text. What Z? I don't know what this does. So it's down there. But what does it do? I don't get it. Anyway, I think I might end it there, guys. We got a flexible space bar. Try and work out what this is in my own time. Otherwise, I'll show it in my next live stream. And we'll see if we can work it out. But I think we got a good way through stuff today. Like, I think I was able to get to a point where I've covered most of the basic widgets. So if I go back to the basics page, we still have Flutter logo, which my understanding is it's just a logo, and a placeholder, which is essentially what it is. So it draws a box that represents where other widgets would go one day. So it's probably pretty straightforward. And this one seems to, this widget respects the icon theme for guidance on using Flutter logo. So this looks like it's just if you want to use the Flutter logo. Which, why would I ever want to do that? Yeah. I think that's all that is. Probably never going to use this, to be honest. Unless I want to do something that's to do with Flutter. Create an app that's to do with Flutter. Placeholder, I might have a quick look at that next time. So we've looked at raise button, we've looked at scaffold, we've looked at app bar, we've looked at text, we've looked at container row and column. I could have a quick look at icon, and we have a quick look at image as well, and placeholder. And then I might go out of the basics, and we'll do something a little bit more complicated, eh? Let's pick, I don't know, let's go some input, right? Get some stuff onto the screen, and listen to a few things. Sounds like a reasonable plan. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do for my next live stream. So I'll see you all in that one. Goodbye and have a good day. And I need to stop the stream. And silly me needs to go into my Creator Studio. Come on. And live stream. Yes, if you saw there, if you're still watching, I was making $1 so far this month. Yeah, I'm gonna be rich, guys. I'm gonna be rich doing this stuff. So, how do I turn this off? Turn it off. There it is. Bye, guys.